Just like that. Welcome back, everybody. Carolina Keith, Professor Keith, Keith the Simp. Can't stand you, Keith. What a dick, Keith. Your underlying attitude, Keith. It's all good, bro. I'm just a normal guy like everyone else, but I'm hella glad to see you here on Crypto After Dark. I hope everybody has had an awesome day. Let me do a couple things right here first because the camera has been acting up on me a bit. Bow. There we go. It's good to see everybody. I had a pretty awesome weekend. I hope everybody else had a pretty awesome weekend. We got some really cool stuff to talk about tonight. Really interesting data that I've been pouring over. Some really depressing math and really depressing numbers, but I think they need to be spoken on. It's just not good stuff. You know, housing has been a leading indicator for things in the past. I think it's important that we find the relative similarities here and compare them and see what we can come up with. But if you haven't done so yet, go hit the like button, man. It's free. It don't cost anything for likes. The more likes we get, the higher up YouTube pushes up their algorithm, and the more exposure we get to people, and the more people we can help out, which is the whole goal. Help as many people as we possibly can. Along the way, we will make money together. You made money. Yes, we did. Along the way, you will make money. You will short. You will long. If you follow along and pay attention to what's going on the screen and listen to the words, you will get smarter every single time you watch a live stream. Unless I'm just on here goofing off, which is pretty darn rare. So let's go say hi to everyone, and we'll get into the data as I'm talking about. Real quick, let's say hey. So over here on the right, we have our comments section. You can't see that right now at the moment, but I'll put it back up here so you can. Right there on the right, comment section. So what's up, Frog with a Hat? He was first. Good to see you. Pepper. Frank, what's up, Frank? Frank the Tank. Mateo, what's up, Mateo? Good to see you. Ryan Seif, what's up? Miss Phoebe. Good to see the Queen. What's up, Miss Phoebe? Good to see you. Everford, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Tom Pesdurka. Hey, y'all. I know exactly what that means. That's Southern. Kelly Slade, what's up, Keith? What's up, Miss Kelly Slade? How are you? Good to see you. Tremaine the Great, bro. Ain't seen you in a minute. What's good? Yekrab. Keith, this is Keith. Let's go, dude. I was just talking to him on Twitter, I think. Poochie, what's up? Simeon, good to see you. Alvin, what's up, my brother? Brian W. What's up, God? What's up, dude? What's good, homie? Good to see you. Manolo, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. So, I kind of like it sometimes when there's not a lot of people on here because I can kind of say hey quickly to everybody, and then I can get into the data. So, first things first, let's look at the XLRE chart. What is this? This chart is Select Real Estate. All right, so it's a Select Real Estate fund. It's hard to explain what it really is, but it's tied into the real estate sector. It's basically a culmination of a few things: top properties, top commercial properties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just like anything in the real world that you buy or purchase, you can chart whatever you bought or purchased on a chart to figure out whether it's trending up or trending down. Now you can see on this chart already, this don't look so great, does it? You have a head and shoulders right here that played out. As a matter of fact, a double head and shoulders that played out. Now let's stretch this chart out a little bit and just have a look at real estate overall for a moment, shall we? Let's step out to the high time frames here because the high time frames always tell a story. As you see, back in 2020, we had this big drop down, but ever since we've had this drop down, it's been steadily increasing and increasing and increasing. Interestingly enough, if we go look at this drop and we look at the percentage that we lost here, lost about 40% from the very tip top to the very bottom of that wick way back in 2020. If we go to where we are at now, from the very tip top to the very bottom, you will see that currently Select Real Estate is down 25%. Select Real Estate is down 25%. And people are still selling and buying like it's no big deal. All right. Lately, I'll tell you what I've seen here in my own neighborhood. Now, I live in a slightly more desirable neighborhood than most. It's still South Carolina, so don't get me wrong, all right? It's still way cheaper to live here than it is to live in most places, okay? in our neighborhood, houses tend to get snatched up within a day or two, max. All right. And that's even if they're stupid overpriced. It doesn't matter. We've had multiple real estate companies from out of state buy houses in here just because they know they can rent the houses in here for way more than they can rent them anywhere else. It's a nice gated community, right? It's got a pond. We have a pool house, really nice streets, street lights. Everything's beautiful here, right? Okay. These houses typically sell no time flat. We had a house a couple streets up from me in the neighborhood here. There's 480 houses in this neighborhood. Couple streets up, the house there, excuse me, the house there sat on the market for 2.5 weeks. I thought it was odd at first, so I looked up the price. Okay, it was high, don't get me wrong, but there's another house that was just like it who a month earlier had sold for $1,000 more than they had it listed for. So they were actually $1,000 under. Now, you say, oh, well, the houses are different. No. They were the exact same house. Now, there were several houses apart, but they were the exact same house. Same similar yards, doesn't matter, right? Sure enough, they lowered the price down $15,000. It took another 5 days before it sold. And I say another 5 days before it sold, before it went under contract. It's still not sold. It's just under contract, all right? They still haven't finalized everything. What I'm saying here is what was selling hot, quick, rapidly is now slowly compressed down a little bit. Little by little, these houses aren't selling so darn rapidly, and they're actually having to knock a little bit off the top here to get them sold. Now, one could look at that and say, oh, no, Keith, that's just greed. That's just the people who were selling the houses being greedy. Is it? Is that all it is? Or is literally every house selling for 120% more than it was worth? Because that's kind of what's happening in this area. And yes, this area is growing. It's a bit bustling, right? It was a very depressed economy for a very long time. When the rest of the country was kind of coming up and getting stronger, you know, this area, upstate South Carolina, kind of rural, kind of backwood, didn't really go very far. However, lately, what people have started to realize is you can live near big cities because we have Charlotte to the northeast and we have Greenville to the southwest. Greenville's the largest city in South Carolina and Charlotte's the largest city in North Carolina. The city I'm in right here, Bowling Springs, is literally dead in the middle of each of them. You can get to either one in either an hour or about 45 minutes. Either way, it doesn't matter. So you're in between two large cities, but still rural and silent, right? Nice and quiet here. And all the amenities that you need. It's becoming more desirable. And people from out of state are figuring this out. Even the more desirable lands are shrinking. So recently, Bank of America sent out a policy. What was this policy that they sent out? I'm buffering. Damn it. There we go again. I know it's not my computer. Let me close some stuff out just in case. I'll close Discord. Doesn't need to be open right now. Recently, Bank of America put out a policy saying that they were going to create new loans for minorities that would be zero down payment, right? No worries about credit. Stipulations that were very similar to back in 2007, 6, 5, 4, 3, back in the early 2000s when the housing market was absolutely popping. So I got to thinking about how that's not a great idea for minorities because you're buying the top, first of all. And I don't want to see anybody get screwed over. I don't want to see anybody buy the top, especially minorities. It's not cool. I have a stake in the game. I have a minority son. Okay? I don't want to see people get screwed over. I don't discriminate. I don't care. But I don't want to see anybody lose. I started doing some numbers, okay? Here's the numbers straight up. The average minority in the United States, average minority household median income, $48,500 for the whole country, all right? Average median income is $48,500. Anyone who knows anything about real estate or loans or credit will tell you that you don't want any more than 28% of your initial salary pre-tax, your gross pre-tax money. You don't want to pay more than 28% of that to salaries towards a mortgage, okay? So more than a quarter of your salary would go to mortgage alone. not worrying about the cost of goods, fuel, car, insurance, anything else. Just mortgage. If you do the math, all right, that comes out to a home of roughly no more than $180,000. And what math am I giving you there? And that's pre-fees, not counting PMI insurance, mortgage insurance, or anything else. All right? That comes out to about $180,000 total. The house that you would be able to afford if you made $48,500 a year. So let's do some numbers here. The average home price in the United States is almost $500,000. So, as a minority, you can afford, and I'm being general, please don't try to trash me. As a minority, you can afford $180,000. The average price is $500,000. Let's be generous and say $400,000. What's your payment going to be on that? Your payment for a $500,000 house, and let's not forget that the interest rates are double what they were this time last year, you're going to be paying at least $2,450 a month. You make $3,000 a month. Not going to happen. So there's a couple ways around this. You can buy a smaller house, right? Like a normal person would do. You buy a smaller house. But what's the point in buying a house that's smaller than the house you rent? Okay? You're actually going to be downsizing for something that you don't need, all for the purpose of saying that you bought it. Not smart. You want something that you can afford and you can live in. So in order to get that payment lower, what do? Well, the fixed rate is 5.85. But the variable rate, now that's lower. You can get variable rates as low as 4.8. A 4.8% interest rate knocks that payment down about 20%. Now we're talking. Now we're getting our payment down more where we want it. On a $500,000 house, that payment's no longer $2,460. It's now $2,150. So you're saving $350 a month. Not bad. That's a Kia. That's a monthly payout on a Kia. Not bad. But still too high, right? So I said, what houses and what areas could you buy? I have a list. This is the 8 cheapest regions to live in. The 8 cheapest regions to live in. I'll show you the more expensive ones in a minute. This is going to suck. Ohio, average home price is $186,000. You can afford $180,000. There are a lot of minorities in Ohio. You cannot technically afford a home yet. Kansas. If you live in Kansas, great. I don't. Nobody really wants to live there. I'm just saying. If you live in Kansas, $180,000, right on the borderline. Max budget. Kentucky? Okay. You got a nice basketball team. Louisville's nice, but that's the most expensive part of Kentucky. It's actually more than $180,000 there. It's actually $326,000 in Louisville. Iowa. How much do y'all like corn? That much? I didn't think so. Alabama. Want to come live in the most racist state in the whole country? Because that's $175,000. You can afford that one. Arkansas. Please no one go to Arkansas. Please no one go to Arkansas. That's all I got to say about that. Oklahoma. Nothing there. $155,000. More affordable. Mississippi. The second most depressed state in the entire country. $144,000. And by the way, salaries are not $48,000 in Mississippi. They're $42,000 in Mississippi. So it's actually $6,000 lower, which causes you to not be able to afford but a $160,000 house instead of $180,000. So again, near max budget. West Virginia, 118. I'm sorry, but I do not want to live in West Virginia. As you see, South Carolina, North Carolina, California, Florida, New York, Charlotte, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, New Jersey, Maine, Delaware, Rhode Island, Vermont, all not on the list. You're fucked. What are the choices here? You have no choice. You can't afford to buy a home. So of course you're going to fall for the cheaper interest rate and the no down payment because I can't have the money because I can't save. And you're going to get lured into a loan that you can't afford, that they're going to sell faster than you can get rid of anyway. That's the first part of what I wanted to talk about. So first of all, as shitty as it may seem, renting is still technically the best option. I know that sucks. I've lived it. I was you. Okay? That's still the best option. The housing market has not come down enough. It needs to come down another 30% just to become more favorable for salaries, to be more matched up to what the housing prices cost. At least 30%. Another great marker is inventory. All right, how many houses are on the market? This determines price because supply and demand kicks in. Lower inventory, there's not as many. Well, I got a higher price because it's worth more. Florida is one of the leading states. As you see, inventory continues to rise from July to August, up another 8,000 homes. 8,000 extra homes in inventory ready to be sold that haven't sold yet in Florida. Now, obviously, these other states are going to be just the same, whether it's California, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada. Those are the ones that are going to get hit hardest too. Just in case you didn't know. Those are the ones that are going to fail the hardest. Be prepared for this stuff, folks, because it don't look so great. All right? This chart looks to me like it's going to go down more. Yes, it's at support. However, we are failing the downtrend. We pull a fib on this, we can see that we are right on the danger line here. There's a high probability this comes up and tests 39.44 before it falls down farther toward 36, 36, and 34.8. Yikes. Yikes. And I think at least one of these three down here gets hit. Real estate's not done dropping either. Used cars are about the same. Inventory is actually up for new car dealerships, which means used car prices are going to start coming back down, but not just yet. So that's half the time already. And I know you maybe know everyone wanted to sit and hear that, but I thought this was super important to understand because this shit super matters to me. It matters to me because, again, I have stake in the game. All right. I have a minority son. I don't want him to get fucked over. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. There are a lot of minorities in the world. Some watch the stream. I don't want you to get fucked over. Simple as that. Simple as that. So let's make smarter decisions, shall we? Let's go see some comments real quick. And then we'll get into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few charts. What's up, Crypto Shadow? Good to see you. What's up, Nick? Morning, dummy, Nifty Phoebe said. Right, she's over in Dubai now. It's pretty dope. Ignacios Frantes. Good to see you, brother. I'm learning about the U.S. and I love it. Try Southern California. He said, oh. Educated Dummy, what's up? Good. Crypto Shadow, what's up? New construction is slowing down as well. That's the thumbnail. And the reason I had that thumbnail up there was to point that out as well. Not only has new construction slowed down, but construction on previously permitted and ready to go homes has stopped in this area. So they got the permits. They're ready to build. They just decided not to do it. Should tell you something. Tripled in the last 2 to 3 years there in Florida, Frank said. What's up, Gold Champ? What's up, Jag? VNQ says, look, that's a Vanguard Realty Index. I'll show that real quick. Real estate ETF. Hey, everybody, look. Not great. That real estate ETF is slowly fading here. We're at the 382 fib now. That is somewhat, so there's some support here. I think there's more support down here at about 80.49. Yikes. Man, if that doesn't hold, it's going to get really nasty. Really nasty. This chart hasn't really corrected more than 50 fib or 618 fib overall. Every once in a while, there's a sharp move like this move right here back in 2020, or this big head and shoulders that played out over here back in 2007. You should have been able to see that head and shoulders coming. Looks a lot like Atom does right now. All right. And then that fall off after that one. So, yeah, not great. So, let's get into Bitcoin real quick. We'll talk about it first. Again, today I was told again that I'm wrong about all this. And I get it. Some people think that the bottom is in because they watch the news and they get a little emotional about it. Or they think that, you know, the bottom is always in just because. I don't. I'm a momentum guy. When I see the momentum going down, I'm not going to long until I see it hit a heavy support level. There is some support down here at 16,500. That is below 17,000. If you put it in the probability indicator that you can find online, you can actually upload some data in a probability indicator, and it'll kind of tell you what's happening. You get about 26% that says it's not going to go below 17,000. You get a much higher number, more like 74%, that says it will go down below 17,000. And it doesn't say the number it's going to go down to, but I'm telling you the next support's around 16,500. If it fails 16,500, you have more support at 12,000. I expect to bounce at 16,500. If it doesn't do it, 12,000 is the next lowest support. Sorry. If it gets down that low, I'm seriously going to consider buying some because that is so far down. In fact, let's look at what would be the right amount of down. Historically, Bitcoin during a bear market has corrected about 80% or a little more than 80%. So if we pull a measurement down here, 78's 9, 80% flat would be right here at 13,840. 13,840. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, we have historical precedent because we have a chart that shows all the history. Previous cycle, let's measure that one down. 84%. All right, previous cycle to that one. 87%. Previous cycle to that one. 93%. So I ask you, do you believe we're at the bottom? Or do you believe we can go down a few more percent from the top and find some support at a lower level? I'm telling you right now, that's what I think is going to happen. We look at the 821 and all the moving averages. You see we are dead stuck under the 200 moving average. Has not broken it. Likely won't break it. You're stuck under the 8 EMA. You're stuck under the 21 EMA. You do have a crossing coming up here, and I believe that's what this check right here was for. We had the 50 cross the 100 up here. I believe that's what that check was for. Well, we don't have any more crosses after that. At some point, this thing's got to slow up. Now, I do believe after one more capitulation, that's it. And what is a capitulation? A capitulation is a rapid fall, which leads to an area of support. That would make sense if it failed to around 16,005 and stopped. I'm all for that. Please stop there. I don't think it will, but please stop there. We'll see. I think we have until December. Why do I say in December? Well, if you put up the halvening dates, you'll see that it's about 442 days to a halfway point on a halvening. How many days have we been? Not quite 442. Actually, a little bit less than 442. So we got some more days to make up here before we get halfway. Then we could see a pre-halvening run-up like we've seen in the past. Okay, that would move us up towards some of the moving averages up here at a higher level. It would flatten off, much like it did right here. Okay, much like it did back here. Much like it did back here. A pre-halvening run-up. Okay, it's happened multiple times before where we had pre-halvening run-ups before the actual halvening and the chart moved on up. I expect that to happen again. I don't think we've got our big final capitulation. I just don't see that. I'm here for it if it has. I would love it to happen. It's already made some new historical precedents by breaking that 200-day moving average. As you see, it's never spent more than a couple days under it on the weekly chart ever. It went under there for several weeks. If you go a little lower here on the daily, you see that there is a clear-cut head and shoulders playing out. I wish this wasn't the case. By the way, you're under every single moving average, in case you didn't notice that. All bearish. move these moving averages off real fast. You see a clear cut shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline. Folks, I'm sorry. You may have a couple more days of fiddling around here before this comes down. It's very simple. This is a bearish continuation pattern. I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't. If we get an inverse head and shoulders here, that would be excellent. What does an inverse head and shoulders look like? Well, I'll show you real quick. There's an inverse head and shoulders. It's literally the same thing as a head and shoulders, only upside down. Same thing, shoulder, head, shoulder with a defined neckline. Defined neckline typically breaks, and after it breaks, you get this run up. None of that's happened yet. So we're still sitting on the neckline. I would love for this to stay here and hold this line and bounce up. I really, really, really would. I want that to happen for everyone. You look at that chart, and if you're a chart guy, tell me that I'm not lying to you, and tell me that I don't think that's clearly going down to me. There's my Bitcoin take. Sorry, is what it is. I'm not bullish until we hit some more key levels and we get to the point where we're at the right timeline, the right support. Then we can talk. Till then, it's all a downtrend. Ethereum. What do I think about Ethereum? Oh, look, it's literally the exact same thing, only on a nicer, cleaner scale. So this Ethereum head and shoulders already kind of played out. Shoulder, head, shoulder, same thing. Clearly defined neckline. It broke. It ran down to the previous CME gap that it made. It has since closed said CME gap. Ran right to my green box that I had right there. Very nice. From here, what's going to happen? For this to be a temporary run up, it needs to break back over this neckline, which is going to be roughly anywhere in this area, depending on where you want to draw it. I drew it way up here. I drew it at 1450. All right. That neckline may be a touch above that or a touch below that, depending on how you want to draw it. I'm really not going to argue with you on that. However, it needs to be break above that and then break above the last shoulder, which is this point. Break above this zone at 1743. Go ahead and tell me what the likelihood of that happening is. Pretty darn low. Therefore, I see more down in the future or sideways in the future for Ethereum. Simple as that. If it wants to drive sideways, great, but it needs to break up over this neckline and drive sideways. If it does not, it is flirting with disaster. If it does not break above this level, we are going down to triple digits. Sorry, just the way it is. I will be shorting it on the way down, and I'll be able to say, you made money. Damn right. I made money. If you're not going to short it, that's fine. I would be sitting in stable coins, not a financial advisor, not financial advice. I'd be sitting in stable coins waiting for the right time to pounce. You're going to get a better price, in my opinion, than what it is right now. It may take a while to work out. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I do think in time it will get there. Around 525 days before the halving is when the bottom usually comes in. Thank you, Terry. There's a good analogy. Since it's a downtrend, any shorting opportunities? Absolutely, Crypto Shadow. We've been shorting like crazy over in the Discord. I'll show you one free one that I've been shorting. Adam. Right here is my actual short line. Here's the chart going down. I'm upside down on 3S tokens though, because I shorted it too early. Yeah, I know. Boo this man. But good news is I caught the 5X, so I've shorted it 5X. I'm doing all right on it. I'm going to let this short run out for a little bit. I think 1230 here is a good short line to stop and reassess. But when we get there, we'll figure that out. Right now, I see a double top bouncing off of the trend line, off of the 50 fib, and I see bearish divergence everywhere on all the indicators. So I'm going to stick in this short for just a little bit longer for me and let it play out. I want to see my short tokens come back in the profits. And once they're back in the profits, I'll probably cut them and leave this short running. Be happy with what I got. 22 acres for me. I hear you. It says, I think we go to 1K. Perfect. I mean, that's a nice round psychological number. I would tend to agree with you on Ethereum that we go to 1,000. So, listen, folks, just that fast. That was 30 minutes. I hope everyone got something out of this. If you would like, we have access to our Discord right here at the bottom of the screen. It is free. Here's what it looks like. You just click on that link, it takes you to this. You click continue to Discord. Blow. Very simple. Start here. You start talking. Bam, just like that. You're in our Discord, you're on. It costs nothing to be here. If you would like, we have a Launch Pass link. This Launch Pass link right here gets you a subscription. The subscription is links down there on the bottom. $16 a month. We are not going up in our price, folks. There are other Discords that are going to go up in their price. In a bear market, I think that's a bad idea. We're going to keep it flat, or we may even reduce the price, but we're not going to go up. So, thank you all for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all for showing up and being here and supporting what we do. You don't understand how much it means to me. In the words of the late, great, notorious B.I.G., you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. See y'all on tomorrow's stream, 2 p.m. Y'all be good. Peace.